Hi there. Welcome to Spiritual Mentoring with Grace. That's me, I'm Grace. And I'm here to invite you to come on a journey with me. This is a journey for those of you that feel called to really, I would say, step into a whole nother track in your life. If you're listening to this, you're probably somebody that has a really good solid foundation in what we might call your spiritual development work, your spiritual growth, your personal growth, meaning that you know your inner world, you know your wounds, your limited beliefs, your traumas, and you've been working skillfully with that stuff for a pretty established period of time. And obviously that helps. It helps us a lot. It helps us to feel safe. It helps us to be able to stay in our bodies and to stay connected to our breath and to be more empowered and productive in whatever our life calls us to do. So if you have some of that work that you need support with, you're obviously welcome here. And yet the bigger invitation here is to those of us, to those of you that feel like that's not even enough. Just continually working, chipping away at the old programming. It gets exhausting after a while, and it will arise over and over. It's kind of embedded in our cellular memory, and even though we can clear it for a while, it tends to want to come back up again. It's in the collective, it's all rising in the collective. So there's lots of kind of pressure into that part of our field. This work is really about helping us shift onto what's I call a completely different track. We might call it our quantum alignment track, our hologram track, our divinely human track, our heaven on earth track. There's lots and lots of names for it. So how do we do that? In my experience, it has to do with remembering and gaining access to the part of us that's already whole. That might be what we call the I am that I am self. We know that we're a unified field of infinite love and intelligence. Some of us have memories of having lived in dimensions where we were more active in that way of expressing ourselves. And yet we've come here in this extraordinary time in the evolution of Earth, where the whole planet is up for an upgrade. And it's absolutely essential and necessary, because without one, we're not going to get very far. So it's no accident that we're here. It's no accident that we've paved the way and built the foundation so that we can be healthy, pretty functional human beings. And now I feel this absolute call for myself, and I've been doing this now for about 15 years, and to reach out my hand to offer to support you. How do you bring in those blueprints, those infrastructures, those holograms of wholeness, and let them run in that same nervous system, in the same DNA, in the same cellular system, so that when we go to live in life, we are actually a walking, living quantum field. Sounds a little woo-woo, but whatever language we use, we got to get that great big extraordinary self that we are down in here and learn some more practices for how to turn that on every morning when we wake up and get it really lit up, and listen and track and trust and allow that part of us to engage with the world in very practical and mundane ways. You know, it's like we're still here. There's still earth to live on. There's still chopping wood and carrying water. But to come from that awakened self is what my sense is that the world is calling for. So if you relate to this, if you feel like, I know there's more to me, but when I go to try and be that, I start to hear my voices in my head. Am I being too much? Am I overwhelming people? Is there really a place for all of my magnificence here? And I say, absolutely there is, and you are needed, all hands on deck. So how would this work? If you were to come and do a mentorship with me, you could certainly start by just coming for a single session. And we would set up a beautiful sacred space with some music and candles and some invocations. And then together I would help you tap into, well, how do I get connected to that great big self that I am? How do I clear the internal space so that that old stuff isn't taking up all of my breathing room? And then how do I really embody and anchor it all the way down into my toes and fingertips? And then what does it feel like to sit in that body, to stand in that body, to walk and talk in that body? And what am I being called to be and do in the world? And then how do I operationalize that in my work-life balance, in my relationships with my beloveds and my colleagues and my community, in my health and well-being, in my prosperity, whatever is going on in the circle of your life? And we help you plant yourself as this whole being. So that's what the work is. You can do that for just a short period of time. Maybe like quite often people will come for either 5 sessions or 10. But really, this is a call for those of you that want to invest more fully and have a really committed, consistent champion as well as a container so that you can really get the hang of being your divinely embodied self on planet Earth. So there's 3-month mentorships, 6-month mentorships, and even year. At your own pace, once a week, once a month, whatever works, we schedule it. And then you come and you bring whatever is on your plate. And quite often what happens is we're back in it. We're back in the distress, the struggle, the activation of the old, and we need help moving back over, clearing that and moving over. And then to be in ceremony is very precious to me, to be in the invocation of that great self and really channeling her or him and listening for what am I called to be and do, and how do I do that? And then working metaphysically to anchor those intentions into our, excuse me, I am self, and trusting that there's this amazing co-creation between our embodied self, our I am self, and the collective of all of the forces of good that are gathered here around our planet right now that want to help us and want to give us the downloads for the new ideas, the new programs, the new ways of being. So there's more help than I think has ever been available here on Earth. So if you're willing to show up and get the support you need, and then we'll tap you into whoever your team is, and then we'll just let it unfold. There's opportunity to do retreat days. There's auxiliary services with wonderful, beautiful fellow temple workers and healers that I'm connected with that help us nurture our body and be in joy together. So if this speaks to you, please reach out to me here, send me a message, and you're welcome to come for a complimentary 15 to 20 minute chat, and we'll see if we're a match. And if I can serve you, I would be so honored. This is my joy and my delight and my call to purpose right now. So I reach out my hand and my heart to you to say, I see you, you are magnificent, and you are loved. Take care.